All right, so we are live. So good deal. My name is Chad Hymas. Thank you so much for joining me. Last week it was our first episode, and this week is our second week. Last week, if you'll remember, I invited some very special people to join me here inside the studio at the ranch, just beside the Stansbury Mountains. And it was Troy and his brother Todd and Mom Julie showed up, the Cheatham family. And our topic matter is Moments That Matter, where we're talking about the true values in life that bring us the most happiness. And I introduced you to this little boy who has Down syndrome and how special their relationship was, and what added value that this young man has brought, not just to our town and to the community, but to this family. And we got the details and the rundown of that. And so if you didn't get a chance to see last week's episode, please revert back and check it out and meet Todd Cheatham, little 7-year-old boy with Down syndrome, and how his older brother, Troy, who is 12, takes this young man and teaches him the ropes around the farm. And then, of course, we heard from Mom Julie and her take on approaching people with disabilities and people that have different circumstances that are visible. And then she also taught us about how to approach people just in general, where people have challenges that we don't always see. And I think we can all relate to that. So again, my name is Chad Hymas, and I decided to start doing this Moments That Matter because I feel like there are just those little small windows of opportunity, if you will, and small things that happen to us in our life that bring about the greatest joy. And I wanted those to become visible to each one of you. So share with me in the notes where you're from. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know where you're coming from. Share with me your name, and let's chat back and forth a little bit. I do have something prepared that I wanted to share with you today as we talk about faith over fear. The first principle that I want to share with you was shared with me in the hospital when I broke my neck almost 20 years ago, when I was approached by my father, and my dad gave me the good news, and he gave me some news that I didn't want to hear. The good news was that I was still alive, and that the doctors had fixed all the broken bones in my neck. So, hi, Patricia. Thanks for joining. We got Arkansas on the line, Midvale, Utah. Thanks, and Glendale. So see that scar right there? That's where the doctors went in and they fixed all the broken bones. And then my dad gave me some news that I didn't want to hear. What was that news? What do you think that news was? What was the bad news? Feel free to just type it in the chat, and I'll see it come up here on the screen. Hey, Shane, thanks for joining us from Montpelier. The bad news was that not that I was paralyzed. In fact, I have met people in my travels that can walk that are more paralyzed than me. So the last 20 years that I've been traveling, I have met people that have full function of all their limbs, and I've lost all 4. Full function that are more trapped than I'll ever be in my lifetime. Now, that's a bold statement to make on this camera. That's a very, very bold statement. It could almost seem ignorant and even brash. And I'm not trying to be ignorant or brash, but what would that mean? Thanks, Kevin, Logan, hey, Elisa. She said she can't hear anything. Let me make sure I'm on here. I'm on. I hope you guys can hear. So give me a thumbs up if you can hear. Can you hear me? Lisa says she can't hear. I want to make sure that we can hear. Are we good on sound? Let me know. All right, Elisa, don't scare me like that. All right, so we're good on sound. So bad news was not that I was paralyzed, because I've met people that can walk that are more paralyzed than me. And what I mean by that is this: people that refuse due to fear, people that refuse to change the way they've done things in the past will find themselves trapped in their own patterns. Let me say that again, and write this down. Remember this. This is a principle that will carry you throughout life and that will help you maximize your potential. People that refuse to change the way that they've done things in the past due to fear will find themselves trapped in their own patterns. And you can just look at me for a second. If I were to refuse to change the way that I walk, and you can all see how I'm walking. Let me switch cameras. You can see I'm walking today. Let me switch this up a little bit. Let's go to camera 3. Cool. So here we are. So you can see how I'm walking today. But this is not the way that I was taught. I wasn't taught this way from birth. So I was taught to walk like Cindy, like you were taught, and Jason and Trish and Julie and Tammy. Elisa, you're back on, and don't tell me you can't hear me, Elisa. I can't believe you did that. But I wasn't taught to walk this way. But if I refused to do this due to fear, I'd still be stuck back in the bed just like this. Just kind of like this. because I would be afraid to try something new. I would be afraid to take that new leap of faith. Today's message is faith over fear. Once I decided to overcome that fear and give this a whirl, it didn't happen instantly. I mean, I didn't instantly become strong enough to push a chair. It was by the little intricacy things that I did every day, the intricate things that I did every day, like try and get my muscles stronger in my shoulders so that I could push a chair. Oh, and the tires. Look at this. If you think the chair came like this, you're wrong. Let me see. I'll get you a better view. Let me move around back here. The tires. This wheelchair came with slicks, but you can see these tires. Look, they're mountain bike tires. It didn't come with this. My dad just went to Walmart because Walmart can solve most of your problems. And my dad bought mountain bike tires. So these tires allow numb hands to grip. But if I wasn't willing to change and still use the slick tires, I'd keep falling out of my chair over and over and over again, which takes me to my next principle. Remember, fear is a great teacher, can be a marvelous teacher. But for those of us that don't hear the message of the fear or message of the pain, we're just going to keep wondering why we're still afraid all the time. Why do we keep experiencing the pain? So hear the message of the fear that we have, and then be willing to optimize and change course, change your direction, look at the stars differently, and change your approach. I changed my approach by the kind of tires that are on my chair. My clothes, there's one. Guys, I'm just going to be very, very blunt here, very, very bold. If you think that I like my clothes, if you think that I like the clothes that I'm wearing, you're wrong. And now, I didn't say I'm not grateful for my clothes. I mean, you should all be grateful that I'm grateful for my clothes. Otherwise, this could be an inappropriate type of a meeting. I mean, I am grateful for clothes. I just don't like these. I mean, it's a tie and a shirt and some khakis. I don't like these clothes. I've always liked Wranglers. Thanks for typing that in, Logan. Appreciate you doing that. We're going to save this chat. I like Wranglers. I like cowboy boots. I like my Harley Davidson shirts. But here's the deal with the cowboy boots. My body is 95% numb. So being 95% numb and my body made up of mostly liquid, where's all that water going? Where's all the water going? The water's going to my feet. So it's not going to my butt. It's not staying where it should stay. My body, the water is going to my feet. If I wear tight boots against swollen feet, I'm asking for the number one cause of death for people that are like me. Do any of you know what that is? Number one cause of death for people like me. Well, then type it in the chat. I can see it right here. So Jason, give me something. Trish, give me something. Julie, Tammy, number one cause of death for people like me. What would that be? It's not falling out of my chair and cracking my skull. That's not it. The number one cause of death for people in my circumstance is a pressure sore. Can you believe that? It's a pressure sore. So if I were to wear tight boots, yeah, you guys are all getting it. Sepsis, no, bed sores, Elisa's got it. So for sure, bed sores, it's a pressure sore. So if I were to wear tight shoes against swollen feet, I'm asking for that. I'm asking for trouble. It's like playing with matches. I'm asking for trouble. It's like playing with drugs. I'm asking for trouble. No different than if I were to wear tight shoes. That's why my shoes, well, they're not cowboy boots. I know you can't see them on the camera, but they're 2 sizes too big, and I can put them on with my teeth. It allows me to get dressed by myself. My shirt, 2 sizes too big, but I can pre-button it with my mouth. And then I can have someone help me with my tie. My khakis are too big, but I can put them on using a slide technique in my wrist. I'm the only quadriplegic known of that travels the world alone. And I'm not saying that to be a braggart. I'm 95% numb. Now, pre-COVID, I was traveling alone. Not saying that to brag. Tell me why that's the case. Is it because I'm stronger? No. Is it because I am better than somebody else? No. That's not it. It's because I've chosen to face fear in the face and have faith over that and know that something will happen in order, and believe and have hope that something will take place in order to help me get to the next step. Every time I land in an airplane, I have hope that I'll find somebody to help pick me up and put me into an Uber vehicle. and it hasn't failed me yet in 19 years. Every time I go to a hotel room, pre-COVID, I have faith and hope and pray that God will put somebody on my path. And it doesn't always happen immediately. Sometimes I have to wait. But I'll find that person. I'll be looking around and I'll spot them. And I'll go over and I'll ask that gentleman. I very seldom will ask a lady for help, not because I'm sexist, and I'm not. I just don't want to put them in a bad spot. I call it respect. But there have been plenty of ladies that have helped me in the last 19 years, whether it be with a shower or making sure that, things are done right in my room. It's very humbling to have a female help me. It's very humbling to have my wife help me. Very, very humbling. Are you willing to change your belief system? Stubbornness, pride, all those opposite things, all those opposite antidotes that have to do with fear, and let hope and belief take root over that and be the foundation for your progress and for your success. Let me see if I can illustrate this another way. Back when I was in the hospital, I'll never forget my kids coming to visit with me. It was an incredible sight. I wish you all could have been a fly on the wall just to see it. When I got to see my two boys for the first time in the hospital, it was absolutely unreal. And of course, they had been prepared, and the little boy didn't really understand. He was only 1, but Ace did. He was 3, and he came up to me, and he didn't want to leave. He hopped up on the bed. And in fact, we got a picture. We captured kind of a cool picture I want to share with you guys. Check this out. This shows you the dedication of a young child. It's no wonder in the scriptures why God tells us that we have to become like little children. Look close. He's asleep. My eyes are open. Nurse is taking a picture. She thought it was cute. And that kid had fallen asleep. And when Shondell woke him up to take him home, he started kicking his feet. He didn't want to go. I mean, Heather, Julie, hi Missy, good to see you. Jeremy, Logan's still on. Brickman's on. That's great, Brickman. I love Brickman. You guys got to go check out Brickman Allen. I get to share the platform with him a lot, and so he's watching tonight. Thanks, Brickman, for joining us. So my kid, he's in the hospital. Look at that. He's sleeping with me in the hospital, and so we're just kind of laying there, and my wife comes to wake him up to take him home, and Ace throws a fit. I mean, he's just starting to kick and to scream, and he doesn't want to go anywhere. And my wife's asking what we should do, and I'm saying, I don't know what to do. I mean, don't ask me. I can barely even, feed myself, let alone make a decision on what to do with kids now. And so we come upon this decision with the nurse's help, let him stay overnight. So I'm cool with that because I don't want to be alone, and I don't think he's going to cause any problems. And he's old enough to take care of himself with his personal needs. I mean, there's a bathroom in my hospital room, and he can get up and walk to the bathroom, and it'd be good company. So, I mean, I think reluctantly, Shondell agreed to let Ace stay with me that night. So check this out. You want to talk about overcoming fear and faith? Listen to what happens here. We wake up the next morning. And we had a problem. The problem was the bed. The bed was wet. Ace had a little problem that night. I mean, he likes to blame me, but I'm just saying, I'm hooked up to a catheter. There wasn't a hole in the tube. Okay. I'm not hooked up to one today, but back then I was hooked up to what they call a Foley bag. And a Foley bag is just a catheter that goes inside of your body, goes into the bladder, and that's how you prevent accidents. That's why I was hooked up to one. Ace, he was not hooked up to a Foley. He was the one that was wet. Nurse walks into the room. Ace covers us with a blanket. I mean, just throws the sheets right over us. Nurse says, Ace, it's time to wake up. I need your help to get your dad ready for therapy. We're going to take your dad to physical therapy. Ace peeks up above the sheets and says, can you come back a little bit later on? We're not ready to get up. And the nurse says, no, Ace, you don't understand. Your dad's appointment's in 20 minutes. We need to get him ready. Ace, I really need your help. You can help go to therapy. Ace said, can you change the appointment? Can you do something different? And then the nurse said, you know what, Ace, I'm going to have to do this with or without you, but I could really use your help. And then this 3-year-old little boy sat there for a minute in the bed. And then he said, okay, I'll help. But my dad peed all over me last night. The nurse rushed to my side thinking something was wrong with the machine or the equipment or my catheter. And she checked the catheter, she checked the leg bag, and she turned to Ace and she said, hey, you know, your dad's hooked up to this machine. Everything's okay. I don't think that, that your dad wet the bed. And she said, and Ace said, I'm not saying that he wet the bed. I'm just saying that he peed on me. He didn't pee on the sheets. He peed all over me. That's why I'm wet. And once Ace had everybody in that room convinced that it wasn't his fault, by the way, tonight's message is not lying. So we're not going to talk about lying or saying something false. That's a message for another night. Once this kid had gotten over the fear of wetting the bed and that it was his fault, I saw a 3-year-old kid help transfer me. The kid was 3. I saw a 3-year-old kid go to the therapy room with me and I can remember it like it was yesterday, and it's been like 19 and a half years. It still plays out in my mind as though it were on a DVD, just rerun. I can see him helping that therapist like he was totally engaged and enthralled in assisting me. That scripture that comes to mind. Though you were not like a little child, behold, you cannot enter into the kingdom of my Father. And he's been doing it ever since. I mean, he's now 22. He's married. But he lives just right down the street. And his younger brother, Kyler's 19, same thing, does the same thing, always there. And then their younger brother, Caleb, who is 11 now, 12, I guess, followed suit. Dad, I got you covered, man. Whatever you need, Dad. Kid's African-American, plays soccer with me, uses me as a goalie. Can't believe it. It's total abuse. I mean, just kicks the ball and it just hammers me. Dad, Mom said you're numb, Dad. It shouldn't hurt, Dad. And he just keeps kicking the ball. And I'm just pelted everywhere. And then I got a daughter. Gracie's from Guatemala. Gracie. Hey, Dad. You want to watch a movie with me tonight, Dad? Dad, I got you covered, Dad, whatever you need. I know I share some of the same stories, but man, they're powerful. Because they breed with it the most common, simple truths that allow us to become like our Father in heaven, to allow us to become like God, to allow us to overcome fear by having faith. Faith is not something that is given at birth. Faith is something that you and I have to demonstrate. Faith is not something that's done by just saying a prayer, saying, I hope this works out. We have to take that leap. I actually have to travel and demonstrate that through faith and hope that someone's going to be there. Someone's going to be at the airport to help me. And I've been trying to demonstrate that for 19 years, and someone is always there. Always there. It's not just praying. It's not just fasting. It's not just showing up at church on Sunday or going to your synagogue or reading a book or even verses or passages. That's not just how you demonstrate faith. It's actually putting your full trust in God, like Abish, the brother of Jared. There's one. Moses, Elijah. Now we're talking about people that really, can you imagine being Moses and going to Pharaoh? Can you imagine being Moses and not being smart by way of tongue? And God just saying to Moses, I will teach you what you must say to Pharaoh. Can you imagine the fear? And that if Moses chose fear over faith, how would he have ever been able to free all the slaves? How would he have been able to do that? But because of his faith over fear, he did go into Pharaoh. And he said, let my people go. free my people. And Pharaoh belittled him. And Moses just listened to what his heart told him. And after doing that repeatedly, Pharaoh finally succumbed to the will of the Lord. All because of the faith of a human man, of a son. Now you know how God works his miracles and how God is preparing for the second coming. He's not preparing the second coming by hurricanes and tornadoes and things. Those aren't the signs of the times. The signs of the times are how he executes through us, through you and I who are watching tonight. Our faith and what we do with our neighbors and how we treat them and how we act around them and how kind we are to them and what we say to them, how we treat our children, our grandchildren, those that are to follow in our footsteps. That's how God will usher in the second coming. If we fear the tornadoes and the earthquakes and the wars and the rumors of wars and the news and things that we see there, if we fear because of that, well, we're not playing our part in his role. But when we act on what we've been taught and what we feel is right, when we demonstrate it through our behavior, through our actions each and every day, then and only then we begin to understand the true power of what faith can do in our life. And I even think that even then we're limited, because by faith, God created a world. By faith and by knowledge, God created man, wisdom. All those things reveal themselves and become more apparent in our minds and in our hearts when we exercise faith. I want to share a quick little story on the video. Elder Uchtdorf. You guys know that President Uchtdorf, I still call him President Uchtdorf, you know that he's from Germany. And I want you to see what happened, a story that happened between him and his mother while they were leaving Germany and fleeing away from what was really a fearful time. And the faith this mother had as she went to get food and leave the train, and she had lost her children for a bit. Watch what happens to this, and let's see what you guys think. Real quick, I just want to thank you guys for joining me. Missy, you're absolutely right. Faith is believing, and kids are full of faith. I love that comment. Julene, thank you for saying divine design. It was a talk by Elder Razvan in 2017, so she's asking you guys to go check that out. Logan, you're welcome. I mean, the pleasure's mine. I love spending time with you guys and hanging out. This is a true pleasure for me. Hi, George. Good to have you here. Don't say outstanding, because then it goes right to my head, and then I need to still be humble. So I want you guys to check out this video. This is something that's really cool. Here it is. All right. My hands are a little bit slow, guys. I want to make sure I set this up right for you guys. Here we go.
Toward the end of World War II, my mother decided to flee to Germany, where her parents were living. Though I was only 3 years old, I can still remember this time of fear and hunger. Along the way, the train stopped occasionally to get supplies. One night, during one of these stops, my mother hurried out of the train to search for some food for her 4 children.
Check this out. Watch this. Watch this. I know it's a cartoon, but it's got power to it. demonstration of faith.
I know with certainty her faith overcame her fear, and her hope overcame her despair.
Thank you guys for letting me show that to you. So I just want to end with a couple of things. We only have a few minutes left. Remember that there's no such thing as false hope. There's no such thing as false hope, only false hopelessness. Because for everything that you and I know in this world, and we know a lot, we've been given a lot of gifts. The last 160, 170 years, the last 2 centuries, this world has been given a lot of wisdom for everything that we know. And we know a lot. Technology, we're going to find a cure for COVID. That's going to happen. We've been gifted. There is so much more that we don't know. And tomorrow, the sun will rise. And it will be a better day if you have the faith to make it that way. Tomorrow the sun will rise and it'll be a better day for you and for me. But we have to show the actions like you just saw with Elder Uchtdorf's mother in that cute little cartoon that has such power in its principle. I want to show you one last video that I show a lot in my presentations. It was the faith that I needed to show and demonstrate in order for me to see my kids again, and then watch the results that came because of that. The video is accompanied by my favorite song of all time called Glorious. If you guys know David Archuleta, give me a thumbs up in the comments. I mean, if you love David Archuleta, just give me a thumbs up. Heather, Brick, give me a thumbs up. I know, Brickman, you love David Archuleta. Michael Kelch, great to see you, buddy. George, thanks for your comments. You're right, this was not long ago. Great comment there. If you guys know David Archuleta, thumbs up. If you like David Archuleta, I want you guys to see this. So I'm going to play this last clip for you. Yeah, for sure. Julie, the Hearts, Heather, yes. I think that Dave is incredible. His music is phenomenal. He's a very private person, but one that demonstrates faith behind the scenes. So, Michelle, I want you guys to check this out. Thank you so much for joining us. Jason, thumbs up to you as well. Here it is. Let's see if we can get this to where you guys can enjoy it. Check it out. Here we go. Live footage. It's live. 20 years ago, live footage.
You might feel aimless and can't see the places where you belong.
I couldn't even feed myself.
But you will find that there is a purpose. It's been there within you all along.
She's trying to tell me to have faith, but I just, you can I didn't have a lot. And it's okay if you don't have a lot.
Like a symphony.
It's okay. Just use a little bit of faith. Look, that's just a little bit. That's only a half a pound of weight. Just use a little bit. I think the scriptures call it a seed of faith. Just use a little bit of faith. And he will make your weaknesses become your strengths. Look, Shondell is my strength. And then I'm able to do it by myself. Look at that. I mean, Connie, look at that. And it took more time. About 2 more months, I could do that. 3 more months, I could do that. My therapist, he helped instill faith in me. Watch. Here's the reward. Look at him. This is live. Look at his face. He's excited to see me. Look at him.
It's so amazing.
That is the reward right there.
Creating, it's like a symphony.
Hey, Dad.
Just keep listening.
We need you to be our dad.
And pretty soon
Dad, I'm going to help you get dressed.
To figure out your part. Everyone plays a piece.
Look at this. Look at him help me get dressed. Now we're playing catch. Look at his face. Look at his face. When I saw him smile, suicide was not an option after that. It was not an option for me. Fear of living, fear of being paralyzed, not an option. And the doors just keep opening, one after another.
Just keep listening.
The doors just keep opening. Things just keep happening.
To figure out your part. Everyone plays a piece.
You still have the farm. Go check it out. Julene, type this in. www.royalcreekranches.com. Type it in. Elisa, help me out. www.royalcreekranches.com. And the only reason I share that with you is because that's always been a dream of mine, is to have a farm. I broke my neck on the farm, and then that had to be put on hold for a little while. If I was to still be fearful of being a dad and being a husband, if I was still fearful of COVID, how we've been put on delay again, I might find myself stuck and paralyzed. And can I just say that I don't like being stuck? I don't like being paralyzed. So COVID has provided for itself some new opportunity for me. New opportunity for me to learn how to be a better husband, to be a better dad, because I've been gone for like 19 years traveling, to try and be a kinder person to people in my community, and to try and find a place to give and to serve. Look at the opportunities that present themselves before you when you find yourself stuck, and don't let fear override your faith. It's because of what I choose to believe and have faith in that I'm here with you tonight. If I was afraid of a camera, well, then I wouldn't be sharing with all of you. If I was afraid of the public, then I probably wouldn't go show myself in public. And there was a time that I was afraid of the public. In fact, during COVID, there was a time that I was afraid. But I've learned that if I listen to the CDC guidelines and what's before me, and I try to do the best I can to keep a safe distance, I can get through the fear, and I can have faith that everything's going to be okay. I hope you guys have a great week. I don't want this to sound so much like a Mr. Rogers episode. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here inside the studio at the ranch and be able to share a message with you. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next Sunday. Next Sunday, we're going to go at 5 o'clock. We're going to keep it at 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Mountain. God bless you guys, and thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Moments That Matter. Take care, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks. Thanks, George. Thanks, Trish, Julene, Heather, Beatrice. Thank you for joining. Feel free to say hi, guys. Michelle, thank you very much for joining. I can see you guys all on the big screen, so I can see your comments as well. So thanks again for joining us. Appreciate your comments, George. You made several good comments tonight. Hi, Tammy. Tammy, you guys got to tell me where you're from as well. So I got to get on another fireside here tonight. So Cindy says that I'm a humble man. Yeah, you ought to try living with me. It's tough. It is tough. I don't know that I'm that humble. So Mrs. Kelch, Sister Kelch, hello. Heather Seagraves, I will tell my family thanks. I will. They know I love being in the studio and talking to you guys, so I'll do that. Carrie Finn Boyle, thank you for your joining us tonight. You guys could be anywhere tonight, watching anything you want, and you're here with me. So thank you guys so much for joining. If I said something that it might have offended somebody tonight, it wasn't my intent. I see a little bit of an angry face. Somebody made an angry face, so I don't know what that means. But if I said something, my intention is never to offend people. I just say things how I see them sometimes. And so anyway, thanks again, Trish, Julie, Kelly, Carrie, Heather. You guys, I'm going to get offline so I can get on that other fireside. You can join us tonight if you'd like to at 7:30 Mountain, 9:30 Eastern. Go to Onward Production Events on Facebook. Onward Production Events. That's a shout out to them. I'll be on their fireside tonight. Tonight we're going to be talking about hearing God and how we hear him, and the different facets that we do hear him from. So tonight at 9:30 Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Mountain, you can go to Onward Production Events, and I'm excited to be part of that event tonight. Take care, you guys. God bless, and we will talk to y'all soon. Thanks again, Julie. Let's see, Julianette, Heather again, Matt, Whitaker. Thanks, guys.